Well, I'm Mayor of City of Yarra, Councillor Jackie Fristacchi, and I'm delighted to be able to answer questions from several of our residents. The first question from Paula Jorgensen is the expertise, data, community passion is there. We all know our economy is stuttering, the planet is in distress, young people are disengaged, but where is the political will to take the needed risk towards a sustainable future? The question is, can Yarra be the pioneer? Well, Yarra is a pioneer in so many ways. Yarra, as a local government organisation, has played a key role in initiating changes to support a more sustainable future. In November, highlight just last year, November, Yarra was certified by the National Carbon Offset Standard as carbon neutral, and we were the first council in Victoria to be so certified, only the second in Australia after New South Wales, and I was very proud, shortly I was elected mayor, to take that honour. The certification's based on Yarra installing more efficient street lighting throughout the municipality, solar panels in our buildings, on our buildings, and we have a large number of municipal structures where we've installed solar panels. The certification is also based on the City of Yarra purchasing offsets. It's a wind farm in China. It's to supplement the carbon neutrality. We also established Yarra Energy Foundation with the charter of reducing energy consumption. We've promoted sustainable transport, and Yarra's been placed on the map in the way we have advocated strongly for public transport, not necessarily for our residents, although there are some services that need upgrading given increased density. We've really been advocating public transport for the growth areas of Melbourne because they're the ones that are very much transport deprived, and it serves to deny the residents of proper transport to access jobs and services, but also creates congestion in our municipality and other inner city areas because we and the City of Melbourne are major sources of employment and services for the rest of Melbourne. We have also introduced rain gardens. Sustainable water consumption is something that's very much to our heart. The Edinburgh Gardens has a wonderful rain garden. I invite all residents to go and visit that rain garden, but we've also got water sensitive urban design we're promoting in buildings, in new developments, and environmental sustainable design is a very key objective for us in planning applications, in our own services as well. So thank you, Paul, again for your question, and I'll move on to the second question from Phil Schlemmer, another resident of Yarra, who asks, "Hi Jackie, how are you maintaining your commitment to carbon neutrality by 2020 through the Yarra Energy Foundation? It seems like this initiative started with hope and momentum, but being involved with businesses in the area, I haven't noticed any new or redoubled efforts in the neighbourhood." Well, these things do take time to deliver, but the Yarra is committed to achieving carbon neutrality for residents and businesses in Yarra, and the Yarra Energy Foundation launched a Yarra Project Zero last year. I was very delighted to join in that launch, very successful launch with a wide range of businesses that attended our launch, including representatives from GE Money, representatives from our large businesses. We also have Computershare, Carlton United Breweries. They are big sources of energy consumption, and we are working with those large businesses, but also smaller businesses. And Yarra Project Zero is one that is being tasked through the Yarra Energy Foundation. So the Yarra Energy Foundation provides carbon-saving tips and tools and services to the community. We also launched Poo Power. Now that's another innovative solution which converts dog waste in public parks into using that methane to provide an alternative source of energy. And I was very proud to launch that. We have also set goals of achieving carbon neutrality by 2020. We knew that it was a stretch target, one that could be achieved with steady and gradual progress. Now we know there are new businesses being set up in City of Yarra all the time. We need to outreach to those. So it's not just the existing businesses, it's a whole range of new residents and businesses. We've got 45% of our households are rented, so it's an ongoing program and target with residents and businesses. It's not something you could achieve in a short period of time, but it's really an ongoing issue. But we're confident that the Yarra Energy Foundation's ongoing work and the community will convert the vision that Yarra set for itself of being carbon neutral into a practical reality. It's something that we've got to constantly strive for. But there are other ways that Yarra Energy Foundation initiatives are working to carbon neutrality. It's issues such as there's food waste education. Some of our officers are working, very dedicated, talented set of officers working with restaurants to try and convert food waste to mulch and get that recycled. There's a cloth nappy library, and there's resources to help residents establish edible community gardens. And can I say on the food waste, I was very delighted to be involved in another launch in the City of Yarra, of a new food kitchen, whereby it's a voluntary private initiative, but launched a new kitchen which takes food from sources. They have to have an audit trail of sources, but it's supermarkets near the use-by date take large quantities of food that would otherwise be trashed. And there's 10 volunteers under management to convert that food to food for the homeless. That's a fantastic program, and it's had it's in Abbotsford, and very proud that this is such a major program for all of Melbourne, based, however, in the City of Yarra. There's been substantial funding from private sector. The Potter Foundation, the Gandels put in excess of $1 million each to launch this new kitchen. It's state-of-the-art, very easy to work in, with good layout and design to maximise its productivity and efficiency. So all of these methods, solar panels, energy efficient lighting, cogeneration systems at leisure centres, provide energy efficient electricity, and they're just some of the ways that Council's boosted carbon credentials, and we're advertising that to the community. Just 2 weeks ago, I was very proud to launch Victoria's biggest solar energy installation. It's actually a solar farm on the very large roof of one of the grandstands at the Victoria Park precinct, and the former football grandstand, or the former Collingwood football grandstand, still used the grounds, obviously still used for football. But it was very exciting to actually climb up onto that roof and see the solar roof farm. It's one of my great pleasures as mayor to have had that experience, and being so proximate to such an amazing source of energy for our municipality. It'll serve the needs of the Victoria Park activities. The social club is leased out to the Collingwood Football Club's charitable workings and not-for-profit charitable workings, and sublease to other organisations that are doing great works in our community. So there's four plus stories of that Collingwood Social Club. So it'll be served that needs and the lighting needs of the whole area. But any excess will go back into the grid. So that's going to, while it was $280,000, it will save us at least $20,000 per annum in electricity. Compounded, that will pay for itself in 10 to 12 years, particularly with the energy prices increasing. So in all those ways, and with the commitment of the Yarra Energy Foundation, the passion of our local residents, we've got great residents who are very keen to contribute and be carbon neutral. We look forward to replicating the success of other cities that have become carbon neutral. So thank you for your question on that, Phil Schlemmer. The third question is from Andrea Mallet from the City of Yarra. She asks that some councils are trialling killing weeds with steam instead of chemicals. Is Yarra considering this? Well, this has been a major issue, and particularly in my ward, part of my ward in North Carlton, the City of Yarra, where residents have contacted me regarding spraying of weeds, and we're trialling this year. We started in September a trial of steam weed controls, particularly Davis Street, North Carlton was the one that I mentioned, which was this area where there's been particular concerns raised by residents. So it's focused on that street, but other streets that will be treated 3 or 4 times over the coming months. And the trial is to investigate whether steam is a suitable alternative to weed killer. Is it temporary? Can it actually end up being permanent in the way that weed killers will penetrate the root system and really destroy the weeds, rather than just be a temporary measure for the growth. So that's a pretty exciting proposal, and when the trial's complete at the end of the year, we'll assess whether the steam method's efficient, cost-effective and beneficial to the environment, with a view to introducing it as part of our service more generally. So thanks to the residents of Davis Street who've been particularly strong on this initiative. Now, weed management is an important responsibility of all councils. Weeds are not only unattractive, they detract from the amenity of our streets, but they can threaten native parks and invade urban bushland, and there are some pretty invasive weeds that expand quite dramatically, like mallow. There's another one I name I can't remember, but it sticks on clothing, and I've had actually residents knock on my door holding specimens of these weeds to ask what council is doing about it. And so I take a great interest in ensuring that we get those weeds under control. If you don't get them under control, they get out of hand, and the task of weed management is so much more. I do photograph weeds like mallow and others, and identify the site and send them to the officers to target those areas where I see that they seem to be getting out of control. Weeds, can I also say that while we do spot spraying on roads and footpaths on a 4-week cycle, and in parks and sporting grounds twice a year, we also respond to community calls where the committee identifies areas of weeds. Can I also emphasise in responding that weeds spread quickly, and while City of Yarra can do so much in streets and in our parks and gardens and other areas of open space that are under Yarra's control, there are many areas that are not under Yarra's control. So we really need to work closely with our residents like yourself, Andrea, and others, to keep their gardens clear of weeds, and so everyone in the community has a critical role to play. If the weeds are escaping from a private garden, it's creating a nuisance externally, and indeed legally and technically legally that there is an issue there for people enabling weeds to escape if that causes harm external to their property. Council can collect weeds from residential properties through a green or a hard waste collection, and we have an at-call waste collection. People can ring up and ask council to collect that green waste. So I invite the community to work with the council. Councils can't be successful unless we all work together in the community to achieve common objectives. So all the residents, please support our weed control measures with your own measures in your own property. That brings me to the end of the questions. Thank you for your questions. I look forward to further questions from members of the community, either by email, by phone, letter, any other means. You are our auditors and insights into how council can better serve the interests of